Mistresses, mistresses, mistresses. No offense, but that word sounds like a nightmare to so many married women, etc., across the globe. Well, having mentioned that, now let's look at this issue. Who gets a man's estate if he dies while having both a wife and a mistress? Well, if the man dies without leaving a will, or if he dies intestate, and his relationship with the mistress was longer than 2 years, then the question of who is entitled to a share of the estate falls under the New South Wales Succession Act of 2006. Legally, the man is deemed to have had two spouses. One, his wife that he was legally married to when he was alive, and secondly, the mistress out of wedlock. The law requires both spouses to reach a written agreement on the distribution of the whole of the deceased estate. Even if the wife didn't know about the mistress, provided the relationship lasted more than 2 years, the law sees them both as spouses who will inherit everything between them. Having mentioned that, if the two spouses of this case scenario can't reach an amicable agreement on their own, then the case will end up in court, where a judge will impose a decision accordingly. The judge may take into consideration who is more deserving of the lion's share. That might be influenced by whether there are dependent children involved, if the man had a child with the mistress, and if the children he had with his wife are adult or not so dependent, then the judge may award the mistress the bulk of the estate to care for the child. If there is a will and it leaves everything to the wife, the mistress still has a right to bring a claim. She would most likely receive something from the estate, especially if there is a child or she had been dependent on the deceased man. Under the law, the judge has wide powers to consider the circumstances of both wife and mistress, such as the husband's moral obligations and whether there's enough in the estate to go around.